All right, let's talk about something fascinating. How do you turn a user's biggest headache into your company's biggest win? Today, we're unpacking the playbook that connects those tiny, frustrating glitches your customers complain about to massive billion-dollar valuations. It's all about turning pain into profit. Let's dive in.
So, let's start with a story about a company you definitely know. Picture this. It's 2009, and a little startup called Airbnb is just about to die. Seriously, they're burning through their cash, nobody's booking rooms, and for all intents and purposes, the dream is over. At its heart, the problem was one simple thing: trust. Or, a total lack of it. People just weren't willing to take the leap. On paper, the idea seemed fine, but underneath the surface, something was fundamentally broken, and the clock was ticking. Loudly. So what did the founders do? Did they stare at spreadsheets and run more models? Nope. They got out of the building, they flew to New York, met their users, and literally went into their homes. And that's when they saw it. The problem wasn't the platform, it was the photos. They were dark, blurry, taken on old flip phones. They just screamed, "Don't stay here."
So they did something that didn't scale at all. They rented a nice camera, went door to door, and took professional photos of the listings themselves. And the result? It was immediate. Just by fixing that one single user problem, those awful photos, bookings shot up 2.5 times, instantly.
And that jump in bookings, well, that translated directly to cash. We're talking a threefold increase in revenue in a matter of weeks. That simple act of empathy, of seeing the world through their users' eyes, took them from the brink of failure to the first step of becoming a $100 billion giant.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, great story, but was it just a lucky guess, a fluke? Absolutely not. What they stumbled upon was a repeatable, powerful method for digging up and solving the right problems. So, what exactly is it?
The method they used has a name. It's called design thinking. And really, all it is, at its core, is a mindset shift. It's about stopping, just building features and instead starting to solve real problems for real human beings.
I love this definition. Think of yourself as a scout, or maybe a detective. Your job isn't to be an inventor locked away in a lab somewhere. Your job is to get out into the world and map the terrain, to uncover what people really need, even if they can't articulate it themselves.
And it's not some mystical art. It's actually a super clear 5-step playbook. First, you empathize. You really truly understand your user's world. Then you define the actual problem you're going to solve. Next, you ideate, which is just a fancy word for brainstorming a ton of solutions. Then you build a quick and dirty prototype. And finally, you test it with actual users to see if you were right.
And listen, this isn't just some feel-good group hug exercise. This stuff makes money, serious money. A major study by a tech giant found that for every single dollar they invested in this kind of design-led work, they got $4 back. That's a 4x return on investment, way above the industry average.
Okay, so you've found a real user problem, and you've designed a beautiful solution. You're done, right? Not even close. Solving the user's problem is only half the fight. Now you have to make sure it actually helps the business win. That's where strategy comes in. And this slide is key. It really nails the difference. If design thinking is the scout on the ground, finding the best path through the forest, then business strategy is the captain of the ship, charting the course for the entire voyage. One is focused on the user's needs, the other is focused on the company's survival and dominance.
Strategy is all about making the tough calls. It forces you to answer the really hard questions. And maybe the most important question of all is that last one. What will we choose not to do? Because you can't be everything to everyone. Strategy is about focus.
I mean, Amazon Prime is just a masterclass in this, right? The user problem was simple. I want my stuff faster. But the business strategy was pure genius. Amazon looked at their data, identified their absolute best customers, and built a strategic moat around them with a subscription that makes it almost painful to shop anywhere else.
And the numbers, well, the numbers don't lie. Just look at this. Prime users spend up to 4 times more than other customers, and over 90% of them stick around. See, design thinking made the one-click checkout easy to use, but it was business strategy that made the whole thing an unbeatable juggernaut.
So, who are the people on the ground making all this happen? How do you actually connect these big ideas about users and markets to the products people use every day? Well, let's meet the key players.
This table breaks it down so well. You've got the product designer who's obsessed with the how. How does this feel? Is it easy to use? Then you've got the product manager who's focused on the what and the why. What should we build next to hit our goals? And then you have the strategy lead asking that huge, terrifying question. Should we even be doing this at all?
Okay, so this is where it all comes together. This is the crucial part. It's about understanding how a tiny little user complaint can ripple all the way up the chain and become a massive problem for the entire business.
It always starts small. Level 1, a user issue, something a designer might notice. Hey, support tickets for login errors are up this month. It seems like a small technical glitch. But then, a sharp product manager sees it and connects the dots to a level 2 problem. They realize, wait a minute, because of this login friction, our activation rate is dropping. Fewer new users are actually making it through our setup process.
And finally, that gets bubbled up to level 3, a business issue. Leadership looks at the numbers and sees the real impact. Because we're paying to acquire all these users who then fail to sign up, our customer acquisition cost, how much we pay for each new customer, is up 12%. Suddenly, that small login bug is a very expensive problem.
And this right here is the big takeaway. It's a causal chain. Design thinking is your engine for finding what genuinely hurts for the user. Strategy acts as a filter, helping you decide which of those pains are actually worth solving for the business. And the product manager? They're the bridge that connects the two, turning ideas into reality.
So, as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. A ride-hailing app once discovered that phantom delays, that invisible waiting time nobody tracked, was secretly destroying customer loyalty. Fixing that one invisible problem unlocked massive growth. So, what's your phantom delay? What's the hidden friction in your world that if you could just find it and fix it, might be your next big thing?